Again, my name's Gabe Zollner. You know, the last real president that we had, I think it was Jack Kennedy. Yeah. He had certain faults, but I think he was the last great president. The only problem that I had with him was he was a Democrat, but nobody's perfect. You take a look at who we have now. He's also a Democrat. And like I said, nobody's perfect, and this guy is far from perfect. You know what you might want to do? You might want to do a little Googling on George W. Bush. Yeah, go look and find out why he left the Air Force Reserve when he was trained to be a fighter pilot. Yeah, he chose to sort of venture off and do other things, but he didn't do it legally. He just sort of left. Anyone else would have been charged with desertion. But because his father was who his father was, he wasn't charged with desertion. And what I found out as to the reason that he left was that the Air Force had changed their policies. Before, you could go to your family physician and he could certify you for being, airworthy. Well, the Air Force decided to have their own Air Force doctors certify a pilot's ability to perform his duties. And because at that particular time in George Bush's life, well, other things were more important, like alcohol and possibly even drugs. I don't know about the drugs, but I assume the alcohol. And that would have made him unfit for duty. So what he did was he chose to venture off and do other things. If anyone else chose to venture off and do other things, they would be charged with desertion. But because his daddy was who his daddy was, everything was sort of okay. And then, Googling around, I also learned, whether it's true or not, I suspect that there is a lot of truth to it, was that George Bush decided to go into Iraq because Saddam Hussein had taken out a contract on his father because of the 1991 war in Iraq. I think it was Desert Storm at that time. And he used the pretext of Saddam having weapons of mass destruction when there were never any weapons of mass destruction found. Now, it is possible that Saddam Hussein wanted people to believe that he had weapons of mass destruction, since that was one of the ways he might have been able to keep the lid on the Middle East. What Obama did and what George W. did is they sort of lifted the lid. Obama lifted the lid because he keeps funneling, and he has funneled who knows how many hundreds of thousands of weapons through Turkey into Syria. And those weapons have fallen into the hands of Al-Qaeda, the Mujahideen, the Syrian rebel freedom fighters, the same guys that supposedly launched nerve gas against the citizens in Syria and try to blame it on Bashar al-Assad. But what you're going to find is if you spend some time Googling around, we really haven't had a real president that really cared about the American people the way Jack Kennedy did. And what we have now, well, he's a complete joke. He's a farce. His mission is to destroy America. And unfortunately, I think he's already achieved that objective. We just haven't realized it yet. But I suspect we will real soon. What do you think? I told you what I think.